In a very loaded defensive tackle class in the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft, the prospect that isn't getting the appreciation that he should be getting is Tyliek Williams, defensive tackle out of Ohio State, 6'3", 334 pounds, and most recently won a national title with the Buckeyes this past season. In 4 years, he has accumulated 136 total tackles, 28 tackles for loss, 11.5 sacks, and 10 pass deflections. After analyzing a couple of his games, here are some strengths and weaknesses that I have noticed when it comes to Tyleek Williams. Talk about his strengths for a little bit. He is a very high motor defensive tackle. Whether it's a passing play or a running play, you will definitely see number 91 on your screen. And there have been instances where a running back has hit the hole the opposite way. You will see number 91 taking angles and literally chasing the running back. Very high motor defensive tackle prospect that you will be getting. Very twitchy. Someone at 6'3", 330 plus pounds. There is no way that a human being should be moving that fast and that quickly at his weight. You are getting a very twitchy defensive tackle. Versatility. There have been instances where he's been lined up as a 0 tech and maybe all the way up to a couple snaps as a 5 tech, but he is a very versatile defensive lineman. So if you have a creative defensive coordinator, you could definitely get creative with Tyleek Williams against the defensive line. Brick wall. In one-on-one matchups, very rare do you see guards or tackles moving him back behind the line of scrimmage and even in getting double teamed by the guard, the tackle, or the center of the guard. Very rare does he get pushed back in double team situations. So he is a brick wall, high IQ. Whenever the ball snaps, he has great play recognition. There have been instances where the quarterback snapped the ball. I believe it was a game against Nebraska. The quarterback snapped the ball and immediately he knew that it was a halfback screen. He followed the offensive lineman to the running back and made the play on the running back before a cornerback was able to get to him. Very high Q defensive tackle, great play recognition where he is always trying to follow the offensive lineman and see where they're going to at least plug the gap or make a play on any type of screens. Huge upside. He is 22 years old. There is a lot of potential in this defensive tackle prospect. If he goes to a team that either has veterans or a defensive coordinator that has potential to bring out the most out of defensive linemen, he has huge upside potential. And to me, at 22 years old, maybe when he's maybe 24, 25, he could probably go down as one of the top defensive tackles, maybe in this draft or as the NFL as a whole. Huge upside, especially at the age of 22 years old. Stunts and twist. Very athletic, very twitchy, 6'3", 334 pounds. You could definitely see him lined up in the 3 tech and go the opposite end on the offensive line on the opposing team. And he will definitely do a great job on stunts and twists and get creative on the defensive line to help edges get after the quarterback, help the linebackers get down on the quarterback. But he does a great job on stunts and twists, and he is an edge and linebacker's best friend, whether that's eating up double teams or on stunts and twists and allowing the edge to kind of get inside over the guards in one-on-one situations. He is an edge rusher and linebacker's best friend. Let's go ahead and talk about some of his weaknesses that I have also noticed. Consistent violence. He can be inconsistent when it comes to violence. There have been instances where he will be very low on a 3 tech and just be very explosive and knock the guard back. And there have been a play or two where he wouldn't show that explosiveness and kind of play a little bit of patty cake with the offensive lineman and doesn't do much to get after the quarterback. So I believe his weakness can be consistent violence. If he can kind of just shoot low and go at them, bull rush or whatever that may be and kind of get some pass rush. If he brings consistent violence, he could be a very scary defensive tackle. But as of right now, it's very choppy, right? Push a guard back or he'll kind of stay in his spot and see what he could do. Arm length. He has 32-inch arms. That can be a knock to his frame, especially 6'3", 334 pounds. His arm length can be an issue in certain situations. If your running back is shooting the hole, you could definitely see him reach his arm out and just miss the running back. Or if he is trying to get after the quarterback, he would just miss a sack because his arm's just a little too short. But his arm length can be an issue in certain situations, or if he's trying to disengage from some blocking, his arms can definitely be an issue when it comes to offensive linemen that have longer arms. He can play a bit too high. This can be a good or a bad thing. The good thing about it is that when he does play high, he is able to utilize his play recognition and see where the ball is. But typically, when he's playing too high, he tends to get out leveraged by offensive linemen and can't really do much. So I feel like there are too many times where he can play a bit too high. Good when it comes to play recognition, but bad when it comes to getting out leveraged by offensive linemen. So I believe he can kind of just play a little bit low consistently, that would be great. Pass rush moves. He does not have consistent pass rush moves, and I feel like that can potentially knock down his stock a little bit, especially with his arm length and his pass rush moves. He doesn't get after the quarterback as much. In 4 years, 11.5 sacks. He isn't going to be your pass rushing defensive tackle. At the minimum, be an elite run defender, but his pass rush moves definitely needs to get better if he wants to kind of increase the sacks at the next level. He can potentially be seen as a 2-down defensive lineman until he kind of incorporates some pass rush moves, and maybe until he starts to be consistent with his violence, he may be able to be looked at as a 2-down defensive lineman. So instead of being a high first round pick, maybe towards like the late first, he may be a pick within the top 5 or top 10 picks in the second round, just based on how teams may be able to utilize him as a 2-down defensive lineman. And like I said, block disengagement. There have been too many times where he'll get caught up on offensive lineman and kind of get stopped in his tracks because he just doesn't have the pass rush moves, the arm length, and he can get held up by offensive linemen consistently depending on the situation. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at some film that I was able to cut up, and this will be between the first meeting between Ohio State and Oregon, and take a look at how Tyliek Williams did in this matchup. All right, perfect. So this is the meeting between the Ohio State Buckeyes versus Oregon in the first meeting. And let's go take a look at Tyliek Williams in this matchup. So you'll see him right here, 91. Let's take a look at what he did on the very first play. Boom. Clogged the lane. Forced the running back to go the opposite way. That is something that, teams that are looking in for defensive tackle is explosion and just the ability to plug in gaps and force the running back to go the opposite way. That is something that Tyliek Williams can do on an every down basis. Definitely need some consistency on that, but just to do that on the very first play, to kind of set the tone for this defense is very huge. Just run this back a little bit, just plowing back the offensive lineman, forces the running back to go the opposite way. All right, right here. You see that, the violence that we're kind of missing here. That's something that I kind of wish that Tyliek kind of needs to incorporate some pass rush moves, especially with his arm length. I kind of feel like I really feel like he kind of find ways to disengage from this blocker and, force his way to the quarterback. I do know that sometimes defensive tackles can't do that every single down, but this is, a good situation where he kind of just gets in there, hands up, as, he does have 10 pass deflections at Ohio State. So that is something that he can do for you. So if he's not able to get after the quarterback, he'll definitely jump up and try to bat the ball down. So next play, we have him right here. Looks like he's next to Jack Sawyer. Run this over. Like, very hard to get moved in his tracks. And that's something that teams will be getting is very rare does he get knocked back about a yard ahead of the line of scrimmage. So that's something that you're also going to get out of Tyliek Williams. That's something that I really like in this prospect. Let's go ahead and find number 91. And he is over here. 91, Tyliek Williams. So we'll take a look at this play. Motor. Chasing him. You see, that's where you can kind of see the 32-inch arms play a role in those missed tackles. I feel like if he had arms like Michael Williams, like the 35-inch arms, he probably would have gotten stopped right here at the 6 or 7 yard line. But even with the short arms, motor, he is going to hunt you down. Running, gonna get you. Motor, that is what you're getting out of Tyliek Williams. Tyliek Williams, he is over here next to Jack Sawyer. You see, stops in his track, but still motor. He'll still try to find a way to the ball. Let's go stop this play for Tyliek Williams, and he was right here. There's Tyliek Williams. So you kind of need to, utilize some pass rush moves. Boom. Okay, he got clapped. Okay, but yeah, you see what I mean? Like, if he were to at least incorporate some pass rush moves, I think potentially maybe sneak into the late first. I don't know if 5 defensive tackles will be drafted in the first round, but I feel like if Tyliek Williams can get nasty with his pass rush moves on top of his athleticism, he can be a very scary defensive tackle at the next level. 1-on-1 with the tackle. Right here. Here's Tyliek Williams right here. Player recognition. He kind of noticed that the lineman was going to his right, but like I said, he does tend to play a bit high, but allowing him to play high. He's able to find the ball, and he noticed immediately when he saw the offensive lineman trying to make a move to the right of the line of scrimmage, he noticed that there was a fumble in the backfield. And by him just keeping his head high and just knowing where the ball is, that is very high IQ for the defensive tackle, rather than keeping his head down all the time. He can play a bit too high, but sometimes that can work to his advantage, trying to make a ball on a play. Tyliek Williams, he is right here. Hands up, not able to get to the quarterback, but he's definitely going to do his best to keep his hands up. Tyliek Williams right here. Let's see what he's able to do right here. Gets past the offensive lineman. Motor, 91 chasing. This is if your team is looking for a defensive tackle that takes no plays off, Tyliek is going to give you motor. You will probably see his number when the play's done on the screen. He is going to give you high intensity motor right here. 91. Tyliek Williams recognizes something, makes a play on the running back. Doesn't even get 2 yards rushing. He noticed something in the backfield. You saw pointed out, but boom, just gains to the running back. Nasty defensive tackle. Here he is, right here, Tyliek Williams. Dropping back in coverage. Look at that. Dropping back in coverage. They got Tyliek Williams dropping back in coverage. Talk about athleticism. Tyliek Williams, right here. Moving with the offensive lineman. See, that was a potential screen that was going to happen. But the fact that he just has high IQ of just traveling with the offensive lineman, and I feel like he does a great job in terms of just blowing up either running plays or screen plays, but he can know, look at that, following this lineman. Following. All right, Tyliek Williams, he is right here. Double team. Barely getting moved. Brick wall. Tyliek Williams taking on that double team and still getting to the tackle. All right, move this back a little bit. I think I kind of let the video run back a little too far. And then Tyliek Williams, he is right here. Swim move. Yeah. So that is Tyliek Williams in pretty much a nutshell for those who don't really keep tabs on a lot of defensive tackles in this draft class. But Tyliek Williams is definitely not getting the appreciation that he's getting, especially when it comes to mock draft season. But for me personally, I can see him getting drafted maybe within the first 5 or 10 picks in the second round. I can potentially maybe sneak into the late first round, maybe. I mean, he didn't have any combine results. He did get hurt on pro day, so that might knock down his draft stock a little bit, but film does not lie. And if you just go by watching Tyliek Williams on film, especially, NFL scouts out there trying to determine, how they can help their team beef up the defensive line and looking for the next defensive tackle on their team, film does not lie. And I do believe that Tyliek Williams will be a playmaker at the next level, and he should be getting love up into NFL draft. But there you have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, give the video a thumbs up and comment below on your thoughts on Tyliek Williams, and let me know if you want me to do any more prospect spotlights. I'll be more than happy to do it for you guys. But thank you so much. Comment below what you think, and catch you guys next time.